Hey everybody, it's me Jen. So I do want to talk about Bigfoot today. I want to dedicate the show to Taylin because she watches paranormal YouTubers and I'm one of the ones she watches. So hey Taylin, this one's for you. In Texas, there have been a few sightings of Bigfoot. It has many different names. Some call it Bigfoot, some call it Sasquatch, or some call it even a Yeti or the swamp monsters. The creature's existence has never been scientifically established. Never. But still, the sighting of a big hairy creature continue. And that's what keeps the group of Bigfoot experts or the Bigfoot explorers still searching for it. Now, some people have said that Bigfoot is an alien because UFO sightings have been associated whenever there's a Bigfoot sighting. Sometimes they see one and then a few minutes later they'll see another. Or vice versa, someone will see something in the air and think it's a UFO and then have an encounter with a Bigfoot. You never know what happens. But there's been a couple here in B County, and there's also been some sightings in the East Texas area of Bigfoot. There's even been sightings of Bigfoot here in San Antonio, down the street from me. And I live like near Highway 151, and that's exactly where 151 is. Way the heck out there, because it's a long country road. And it had been sighted, I think it was more than one Bigfoot was sighted. There was an actual phone call, and I'll try to find it for you and post it on here, with this, that you could hear two homeless people. They were at a store. It was raining, and they went to go get some snacks and stuff, and then went back to their place in the middle of the woods. They're homeless, so that's where their little safe haven was in the woods. And this was on 151 right there off by, there was a Valero there, and it's like this little gas station. So they were there, and then they saw this big creature. It was hairy, and it was walking in the area where their little nest or little house was, and they have an actual phone call. Check this out.
San Antonio 911, do you need police, fire, or EMS?
I'm not real sure, ma'am. I just watched the biggest it was a critter, but it smelled real bad. I'm a homeless female. I live right in the middle of the woods, around 151, just north of Claver on 1604 where the light is. This big thing was 75 feet away from me, smells awful, devoured a whole deer carcass, and then took off and, like, screamed, screeched, and took off across the street. And I know you guys are going to think I'm crazy, but I'm
now
dead
tell
serious.
me, where was it? This is at 151 in Calabria?
Okay, yeah, like, you know, the light at 151, just up from Calabria on 1604 where 1604 split, and you can get off on the access road to Calabria, or you can take 151.
Right.
That light right there is, yes, right in there. It is a very large, hairy animal of some kind.
Now, was it standing on 2 or 4? Or?
Well, if I told you it was standing on 2 legs, you're going to think I'm crazy, but I'm serious. It ran off at breaking limbs and trees. And it kind of screeched, howled, and a very creepy, scary thing. Because, like I said, I live in a tent. We're in the woods. So,
You live in a tent?
Yes, ma'am. I'm a homeless female. I live in a tent in the woods, and I just saw this freaky, scary, very large creature devour a deer and run off across the road. So I just thought, like I said, I thought somebody should know there's a very large something big enough to eat a deer and as a predator.
Are you with someone there?
Yes, ma'am.
Did they see it too?
Yes, ma'am.
So that was a phone call that we heard. However, there was a video that was shown where a local paranormal investigator wanted to interview them. And so he found them. He tracked them down, he found them, and he did a little interview with them. And this is what their story, and this is how they have to say their story. So check this out, a little part of it.
Jay
Elizabeth.
and Elizabeth. And how long have you guys lived out here?
Probably about 5 months.
I'd say longer than that, probably about 6.
6 months?
About 6 months, yeah.
And have you guys seen anything strange out here, like any kind of creature or anything like a Sasquatch maybe? Or
We haven't seen
anything, but
and we thought it was bullshit.
you did.
Until one night.
It was about 6 in the morning. We were awake. We were just laying down, and we heard walking. Heavy walking. And it came from back there behind our tent. And it's like breaking sticks, like big sticks though, because we usually hear creatures walking, and they break little sticks, twigs here and there, right?
like just scuffling around?
Yeah.
And there's cougars out here.
Yeah, there's mountain lions.
Yeah, Jeff informed us of that.
And we know how they walk because, like, I've watched them, I've heard them. I shot at one with a pellet gun like an idiot, I know how they walk, I know how they run. It sounded like a big human being walking, just not caring, breaking all the sticks, all the brush, like probably about sticks this big.
We thought it was like, at first we thought it was like a really, loud, like Lee or...
Yeah, the guy who used to camp here is real big.
Big, huge hobo walking around. But then there was this smell.
Yeah, it's like rotten meat.
It was like someone took rotten meat and rolled it around in poo. It was the worst smell I'd ever smelled.
Wow.
Yeah, and it just kind of the area over there, it didn't have all that trash in it at the time. And it just walked. It sounded like 2 feet walking but really, really heavy. Like if I was stomping, but not the hollow boot, of course, like just solid weight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like somebody hitting the ground with a bat maybe or something like that.
Yeah.
Like somebody walking. It was heavy, and it was not 4 feet. It was definitely a 2 feet.
And it wasn't a brisk walk. It was really slow, like step, and then stay still for a few minutes, and then do it again.
Like nothing out here scares me.
How far away would you think it might be?
It
might have been.
It brushed against the tent.
Yeah.
It was right up.
It was
on
about
us.
Yeah. And at one point it stopped.
It was before I had this tarp up to block.
Yeah, it stopped for about 5 minutes at one point, and then it continued walking, and that's when it brushed against the tent. And we just were silent. We laid there, and we kind of just kind of tried to ignore it, but try to kind of take heed of what's out there. I told her.
Couldn't hear anything else. There was nothing
it was
else
silent
out here.
because around 6 in the morning,
the birds start chirping.
The construction wasn't geared up over here yet, so all the loud machines weren't there. And it was about, what do you say, 3.5 weeks ago, maybe?
Yeah, it wasn't long ago.
Yeah.
Okay, now to a story that may test your belief system, but for decades, people all over the world have reported sightings of a mythical ape-like creature known as Sasquatch or Bigfoot.
Yeah, but one group in Beeville is working to try and prove that it actually exists. Our Michael Gibson has more on the search for the B County Bigfoot.
Baltimore Galvan is calling for Bigfoot to show itself here in Normanna, just north of Beeville.
Sometimes they're close by. You can hear knocking or shaking of a tree or something, but they'll let you know that they're close by.
Galvan says this area along Meadow Creek is a favorite hangout for the creature. He runs the B County Bigfoot Research Group.
When I saw it, it looked just like a person, looked like a man in 2 legs.
Here inside the historic McClanahan house in Beeville, Galvan and other Bigfoot believers agreed to go on TV in the hopes that others would step forward with their own stories of the beast.
Why is Bigfoot so elusive if there is, in fact, such an animal that's 7, 8, 9 feet tall in Texas?
A lot of people have seen him around here. Mainly it's along the creeks.
That's Richard Robbie, a local real estate agent. He showed us a picture that he took of what he feels was a structure built by one of the creatures.
The blood runs cold.
That was his reaction after he and his grandson spotted one along a creek bed. We learned of one of the first supposed Bigfoot sightings in the county. That happened in Normanna back in 1925 when the creature surprised some cowboys inside a ranch house.
He actually stuck his whole head into the window, and the gentleman said his mouth was this big and his eyes were so big. And then so the animal made a just sound out in there, and then so the animal took off.
Felix Abrego remembered the day he was working on a ranch and spotted the thing.
The one I saw had to have been like 9 foot tall. And his hands were below his knees. And he was just taking big old steps, but like he was out for a leisure walk.
That encounter seemed to have made a real impression.
And I'll tell you what, I don't go out in the brush by myself no more. And if I do, I take a big gun.
Back in March, here just outside of Normanna, a ranch hand was working in this same exact spot when his dogs began to bark. Then they took off running towards something. When he took a look, well, it was simply too hard to believe.
And I see this, it looked like this big old black shadow that just seemed to be, you know, walking across the street.
Edward Robinson got into his truck and raced to get a closer look, but it was gone by the time he got there.
I wish somebody would find a good picture or a family or group of them, you know what I'm saying? There can't be just one in all of this area that's just traveling around, you know, doing stuff. It's got to be more than one.
We've been doing research for 35 years on rare and elusive mammal species. Bigfoot is not real. It does not exist.
While mainstream scientists say a creature like this doesn't exist, Galvan and his research group will continue looking for the evidence here in Normanna that Bigfoot is more than just a legend. From B County, Michael Gibson, 3 News.
I'm going to go with the scientists, but...
That's pretty cool, huh? So I do want to end this segment on Bigfoot in Texas. If you're interested in Bigfoot and you want to find the truth, and you're old enough to go out and search, that's very important, then show me what you find. That would be pretty cool. I want to get a team, or at least another team member with me, to go and search. I have a friend of mine, her name's Sylvia, she's my best friend. We've been friends since elementary, and I never knew she was into Bigfoot and UFOs, so that's a pretty cool thing. And I told her, you know, there have been sightings around San Antonio and the Fredericksburg area, or Alpha 151, and she's like all into that. So I'm like, maybe I'll drag her along. The only thing is she's like really tiny, and they might take her if we encounter something. But so for this segment of the Bigfoot Files, I hope you enjoyed it. Till next time, thank you so much for watching and hanging out with me today. And please like and subscribe to this video. And I'll see you on my next video. Until next time, pleasant screams. Take care, everybody. Bye.